Hey there, my name is Steve Dawson, and I'm a guitarist and producer from Nashville, from Vancouver originally, but I live in Nashville now. And I just got back from Calgary where we did this really fun thing called the Henhouse Pop-Up session. And I made this little video with our setup up there in Calgary and thought I would just talk you through it a little bit because it was a lot of fun. I didn't film a lot while we were actually doing the sessions because I was playing, I was busy. But in between, I happened to make some video footage and I thought I'd share it with you. So we rented this studio called OCL and we rented it for 5 days this time. In Vancouver, we've done 6 and 7 day sessions as well at the Warehouse Studio. But the one that we just did that I'm going to show you around in is in Calgary at OCL. And so we had 5 days there and we separate the days into 6 1-hour chunks, and artists and songwriters just buy into our time there, and they have an hour, more or less, to do the song. I write charts in advance. I get the songs in advance, and I write charts and get everything ready. We get there, and everybody shows up and hears the song for the first time, looks at the chart, gets their act together. We talk about what they're going to play, and then we play it a couple times. And we nail it out. You know, sometimes we do a little edits here and there, but for the most part, it's live off the floor. And then we quickly shift gears and do a bunch of overdubs. The artists were incredible. Especially these last ones in Calgary, where it was a great bunch of people. They came in and nailed their vocal takes, so that was cool. While we're doing overdubs, sometimes the people re-sing the song, which is totally fine, and that has worked well as well. And while that's all happening, Sheldon Zaharko, who's the engineer and a good friend of mine who we've worked together tons over the years, he's sort of mixing things as we go. So it sounds great. It sounds like a record already as we're doing it. And as the overdubs happen, there's usually 2, 3, 4 layers of overdubs. I do a lot. And Daryl Havers does quite a bit on keyboards, lots of percussion as well. And while that's all happening, Sheldon is kind of mixing all that stuff as well. Sometimes we even put some backup vocals on, and we get it all done in an hour. And so in a full day, we're getting through 6 songs. So we had 5 days there. We did 30 songs, recorded and mixed. People get out of the session with the mix. They also get an instrumental mix should they want to go back and re-sing it, which, you know, I don't always recommend, but they can do that if they want to be perfectionists about it. And then they also get the tracks, so they could potentially remix the entire thing if they really want to do that. But I stand behind the work we do. I think it's really good. It's a really fun way to work. We love doing it, and we're going to do it some more. We've got another one coming up in Vancouver. We've looked at doing it in other cities. It hasn't really happened yet, but you know, if you're interested, check it out. You can get all the info on this stuff over at stevedawson.ca. And I'm going to show you around the studio, how we were all set up over at OCL in Calgary. I think it was a really cool and interesting place to work, and we loved it, and we're going to do more. So check it out. Okay, here's the control room, OCL. What do we have here? This is Sheldon.
Yo.
Sheldon Zaharko. Sheldon and I have done a lot of things together. Musical things. How many things?
Maybe 80 to 100.
Yeah, that might be right. So this is the control room here at OCL. This is the Neve 88R console. How old is this console?
I'm not sure.
90s, 80s?
I'd say early 90s.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great sounding console. Running Pro Tools here. We're not tracking a tape. We don't really do that anymore. It's fun too sometimes, but usually it's kind of a pain in the butt. Here's some of the outboard gear going on here. They're all geared up here. They've got good stuff. Some tube techs, some Manleys, some API stuff, some 1176s. It's a nice rack of gear there.
Totally.
We're looking out from the control room into the tracking room there. That's my station right in front. And then in here is the machine room. Not very exciting. That's where all the stuff gets powered. This is my little amp room back here. Do you know where the light switch is for this?
I can't remember.
Can't find the light switch.
I shut them off, but I can't turn them on.
So in here, that's a blonde, a nice vintage blonde Fender 212 cabinet, and that's where my Fender Deluxe. Oh, we have light. My Deluxe reverb amp is the speaker is disconnected, and it's coming into the wall here, and coming into this 212 cap, and we've got a nice Neumann U67 on the amp. Pretty simple little deal. Just using this 212. I don't really have time. We're working so fast that I don't really have time to mess around with experimenting. So we just set something up that works and use it for everything. I have a lot of different guitars and different ways to get all the sounds I need out of that one speaker. So yeah, this is the entryway to OCL. This is where we're working all week. It's a bit of a maze back here, but he's really into the Beatles, the owner, as you can tell, which is cool. We don't get into this back area that much, but there's a lot of equipment and storage places. He's got lots of drums and keyboards, which is really cool. We've already pilfered everything that we can from there. And some more guitars in the guitar vault. This is sort of the entryway and hang. People come in here and get their act together. Walking through here, the control room's on the left. There's our good pal Sheldon. That's the control room down there that I showed you already. The mic closet. Lots of great mics that we're not even using. We are using great mics, but there's way more than we need. The Leslie. We are using the Leslie, of course. I love the Leslie. Got it mic'd up with a couple of U87s. And in the tracking room, we've got this cool Yamaha Grand, which is great. That's a C3. Same as a B3, but it was built for a church, which meant it was bigger. And because the B3 isn't big enough, apparently. So the C3 is like the B3, but with the C being church and sort of the the fancier woodwork and whatnot. Other than that, it's the same thing as a B3. And so this is the main tracking room. We've got Jeremy's bass world over here. He's well kitted out. He's got his this is a folding travel bass, which I don't think was his ideal preference for upright bass, but it works actually really well. And he travels with it because the neck comes off. So that's what that bass is all about, and that's his P bass, which he uses a good deal of the time. And you really, if you're going to bring one bass to a sesh, it's probably going to be a P bass, at least in my world. And then the owner here has a wonderful guitar collection, and he let us use this Hofner Beetle bass, and it's a 64, 65 maybe, which is cool. This mandolin is theirs as well. Jeremy plays some mandolin. This is Jeremy Holmes's world. In here, this is usually like a piano room, but we turned it into a drum room. So we've got some isolation on the drums, which is handy. We're using pretty minimal miking in here on the drums, I guess. We've got an overdub station here for the congas, which we use sometimes. We're not using any of these keyboards. But here we're sort of doing a Glyn Johns kind of thing with these two Telefunken 251s. We've got a Coles 4038, sort of a mono deal here. We've got an AKG, that's probably a D12, maybe a D20 on the kick drum. Some sort of Gaffel thing, I think, on the snare. And that's sort of the world here. That's Liam McDonald is the drummer. Oh, look who just crawled in. It's Daryl Havers.
Let's get this party started.
Daryl Havers is here from Vancouver. He's firing up the C3.
I am so.
And he knows his way around a few things, a few keys. We've been playing together in various things for, I don't know, probably 15 years or something.
I think you're right.
Maybe more, maybe less.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
Firing up C3, man. Firing up the computer. Firing up the Nord.
It's easier to fire up a Nord than it is to fire up a Hammond.
Absolutely.
How's that Hammond working out for you?
It's pretty good. It seems a little underpowered. Might have to get some new tubes. at some point in time.
I feel like there's a tube thing going on with it. Yeah.
Maybe a preamp tube, maybe.
But sometimes, like, that's a cool sound too, in a weird way.
Yeah. Different kind of grind.
Here's my world right here. This is the control room windows going. You can't really see, I guess, probably on this video, but that goes right into the control room. I can kind of see Sheldon, although I'm facing the other way. So I'm facing into the room. This is my guitar station. And what's going on here is I've got this deluxe reverb sitting right beside me, but I've disconnected the speaker, and the speaker's running into the panel here, which is running into that other room behind the control room, and there's a Fender 212 cabinet in there. So I'm basically using this deluxe as a head, and no sound is coming out of it, but it's working great. I've got two inputs going, one for pedal steel and one for all electric guitars. And we've got a Neumann KM56 here for any acoustic stuff I'm doing, which is a really great mic. Sheldon brought that from Vancouver. And I borrowed a pedal steel from a friend here. This is a Williams steel, which is great. It's actually pretty similar to mine, which is awesome. That my friend Chantel has this steel here in Calgary, and I was able to use it. That's pretty great. So I have a pedal board here for just for steel. That's got some cool stuff on it. I don't use a lot of effects really with steel, but there's some delay and reverb and overdrive. On the guitar situation, I've got this HX Stomp that I'm not using. I haven't used it yet, but it's there if I need it, basically for like weird, crazy effects. If I needed something, I could do it. But delay, tremolo, a couple overdrives, a more pedal from Union, and a tuner. That's about it. So that's the world here. And then this is the vocal booth where the artists hang out. That's a AEA, I think it's an R88. We're using that for the guitars. Beautiful Neumann U47. This one works really well. Sometimes these don't work that well. This one does. You never know at studios. Sometimes you go into them and they have all these great mics and they don't actually work that well. This one, however, sounds like $1 million. So this is where they hang out. They can see me through the room, or the window here. They can see the drums. They can't really see Jeremy, the bass player. I just realized that. Oh well. And they can see the organ and the piano. So they've got good eyesight here to pretty much everybody. It's mostly me that they need eye contact for. So that works well. And this is our great room. We've got some natural light, which I always like in a tracking room. Very few people know this, but there's a secret ingredient to sessions, right, Sheldon?
Yeah.
And some people think it's microphones. Is it microphones?
No.
Is it instruments?
No.
Is it a console, a really expensive console?
No.
What is it?
It is Magnum PI.
Here's the balcony where we are out in front. This is really all inside this house here. And looks like we're in the middle of nowhere, and sort of we are, but we're also not. We're about 25 minutes east of Calgary. There's not a lot of action out here. It's just farmland. So this is in Alberta, Canada. And it's a pretty huge piece of property. The studio is all in this red house. We're all staying here, which is a great feature. Something special to be able to do is staying where you're recording. Kind of puts you in a different zone. Here's the old stack of charts. I got all these songs. So we're doing 2, 3, 1, 4 songs for different people. I get all the songs in advance, and I do up all these charts. I guess there's 30 for this session. Quite a bit of charting, but we use the old Nashville number system, which is easy to read and a good way to work. Guitar-wise, here's my Weisenborn. I've had this sucker for 25 years or so. It's sort of my main Weissenborn. We've got this Martin here. I don't know if that's a D28 maybe? I haven't even checked. It's the owner's guitar. And then the electrics here. This is my Strat. I use that for most of the slide stuff. My Telly. That's a Nash Telly. I've had that for, I don't know, 10 years maybe. That's a nice Telly. I love that guitar. I've got a Rickenbacker 12 string here, which has come in handy a few times so far. That's the owner's as well. Not the kind of thing I would fly with to a session, but man, having one here is a real treat. There's a Nash Strat here. This is also the owner's. And then we've got this Gretsch Country Gentleman, which is a beautiful guitar, also the owners of the studio. So really I brought with me 3 guitars and the rest are the owners. And just knowing that he had guitars here was great for me because it meant I had to fly with less, but they just happened to also be awesome guitars in great shape. This Gretsch is phenomenal, actually. I've never played a Gretsch that I loved, but this one, I might love it. The only thing I don't love about it is the 0th fret. It feels weird. I don't know why I don't love that, but I don't have any guitars with a 0 fret, but this one does, and it feels weird to me. We got Jeremy Holmes here playing bass. Got a little upright. It's not little.
Got a little ready. Got yourself a
Why are those cool?
little tubey goodness in there. Got a little P-bass with some foam.
Yours.
Mine.
Your old standby.
My coveted, not mine, 63 Hofner.
That is the 63.
And it sounds excellent.
It's in such good shape, too.
Yep.
The studio has wicked guitars. That is the Hofner.
And we are using that as of yesterday, which is very
On the upright.
excellent on the upright.
Never used one.
They do have a
Dig it.
mandolin, which I've used as well. That's it.
Jeremy Holmes, ladies and gents. We got Liam McDonald
Yeah.
on the kit.
Good morning.
Tell me about the drums here.
Oh,
Are these your drums?
beautiful Rogers kit that I might have to see if I can fit it in my suitcase.
What era is this kit?
I think it's 70s. It looks 70s to me.
Mhm.
I haven't actually gone and saw it, it looks 70s.
How cool is it that you can pull into a studio in a different city and they've got a wicked drum
I
kit?
just had to bring my cymbals. Easy peasy.
Nice.
Yeah, they got lots of options here.
We got
This
kind of a
is like-
minimal mic setup, but it's cool.
And this is like the biggest drum room I've ever set up in. It's great. There's so much room for my congas and it's wicked. I like it a
over
lot.
here. Been getting a lot of mileage out of the congas. It's conga central around here.
Sheldon just makes me play them.
Shine, share with me this galaxy you harmonize. Funny feeling when the gravy bin begins away. Got me believing there's a future worth living in your gaze. It's plus 33. She's on top of me, bedroom soaking up sunbeam. A funny feeling she's shown me. No better feeling and she showed me a funny feeling.
Watching, that was our little setup there at OCL in Calgary. We had a blast working there for the last week. If you're interested in taking part in one of these pop-ups, so far they're only happening in Vancouver and Calgary, but I don't know, they could happen somewhere else. Toronto, Winnipeg, we've looked at. Nashville, of course, but it just has to be the right people at the right time in the right place. So if you're interested, check out stevedawson.ca. We have all the information there, and we'll see you around. Thanks.